Gonna bang right here. There you go. You got it.
Welcome to Speed Bump Garage. My name is Kent, and today we're going to be back on our 2022 Polaris General XP-4, and we are going to be working towards getting this thing trail ready. I just ordered a set of rock sliders from B&M Fabrication. They came in. I haven't opened them yet, so we're going to unbox them and get them installed on our rig. I'm super excited. I think these are the most reasonably priced rock sliders on the market. So, fingers crossed, I hope the quality's good. They're supposed to be black powder coated, and I think they were right around 400 bucks shipped. Probably the cheapest set out there. They had good reviews. I'm excited to see how hard they are to put on there, and maybe go do a little test run on them. Let's get them open and see what it's going to take to put them on the Polaris General. There they are. Let's get them out of here and take a look at them. Okay, finally got them open, and first thing I want to say is B&M Fabrication did a great job packaging these up. They were wrapped very nicely, and I don't have them all the way open yet, but I'd say that they most likely aren't damaged because they were wrapped very well. All the hardware's in a bag here. And by the way, this is not a sponsored video. I bought these. I did not tell them I was going to make a video on them, so you're going to get an honest review and opinion of these. Here is their contact information. B&M Fabrication. I'm not sure where they're out of. I know they do a lot of snowmobile accessories, but it did not come with installation instructions. There's a note on the back of the card that says to go to their website for installation instructions. So we may have to pause and do that here in a bit, but let's get these out of the plastic and take a good look at them. Very nice. We've got a nice textured black powder coat, laser cut mounting brackets, and very impressed with the weld quality. Nice weld quality on the brackets. They're good and heavy, not too flashy. I think this is just what you need to protect the bottom of your General or whatever you're putting them on. Let's see what it's going to take to put them on. I was wrong. Even though their card mentions that the installation instructions are on their website, they did actually send a set. So rather than run to their website, I'm going to skim through this real quick, and then we'll put them on. All right, guys, I'm coming at you from after the video, but I want to break in and tell you all the tools I used for this installation. You're going to need a drill and a 3/8 bit. You want a nice sharp bit because you're drilling 6 holes through the frame if you have a 4-seater. I used a little impact wrench, and I have a T40 torque socket. You're going to need that T40 for sure. A 10mm socket. I know that one's going to be hard to find. 9/16 socket. 9/16 wrench. And a ratchet. And I'm going to tell you, before you drop the skid plate, I didn't mention it in the video, but take a good look, maybe even a picture of how that thing goes together, because on a 4-seater it is a 2-piece, and I had a heck of a time getting it back on there. I wish I would have taken a picture, so take a picture so you know how it goes together. Now let's get into the video. After reading the instructions, the first thing it said to do was to drop the skid plates so you can get to the back to bolt them on, and it also said to remove the fender flare. Now I went ahead and removed the skid plates, but I don't see any reason we need to remove that fender flare, so I'm going to try to complete the installation without doing that. It may be something on the 2-seater, but as far as the 4-seater, I can get to the front bolt without removing the fender flare, so hopefully we're going to skip a step on that. Now I went ahead and pulled the skid plates, and you have to pull, this is the front section. You got to pull it first, and then you can fish the back section out. I didn't film that because it's pretty straightforward. I'll show you what you need on it. There are 10 of these that hold both sections up there, and that takes a 10mm socket. And then I think there's 6 of these little Torx head ones, and that took a T40 Torx. Now, as always, we ran into an issue, which is a speed bump, if you will. When I dropped that skid plate, these nuts came rolling out, and little lock nuts. So I've spent the last 30 minutes, they were under the front section of that skid plate. I've spent the last 30 minutes trying to figure out what those nuts could have came off of, if they vibrated loose on something. We've hardly used this unit at all. It has almost no miles on it. I don't have a clue what they could have went to. Now, I just sent a picture of them to the dealer. What I'm thinking right now is maybe they're just extras that were dropped in there, because they have a little Teflon filler in there that doesn't look like it's had a bolt in it. But I don't know. It makes me nervous. It's wasted a lot of time. I'm going to spend a little more time combing over it, make sure I don't see anything that's missing nuts, because I don't want to get on the trail and have something come loose. Now, I saw a few things that had this same size nut on it. The sway bar mounts had these on it, but they were all intact. Have no clue why these were in there, but they definitely came falling out on the floor when I dropped the skid plate. But we're going to continue on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install one side of them off camera. I'll probably install the passenger side and figure it out, and then I'll bring you guys on a quick installation on the driver's side after I have the passenger side figured out. So I'll see you then. I got the first side on and it went fairly smooth. I ran into an issue on the back bolt. So it sent special nuts for those back bolts with holders on them, because there's not enough room to get a wrench in there. They look like this. Well, this bolt hole was all the way up against the cross member, and I drilled it perfectly straight, as you'll see in a minute. It just, I don't know if the cross member is in a different spot on my rig, but the nut wouldn't fit. So I notched the hole a little bit and it still wouldn't fit. So I ended up grinding down the nut and the holder, and I'll show you a picture of that here. So with the combination of the slotted hole I drilled and grinding that down, we were able to get the nut started, and then it worked great. This side took probably an extra 30 minutes than it should have, but I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. That little 3/8 bolt is the one we're talking about. And that is the cross member that's the problem. If you look up in there, you can see where that nut is all the way up against that cross member, and that's after I slotted the hole. It was up in that cross member before I slotted it. That little nut there cost us an extra 30 minutes at least. Little problems, we worked our way through it. That right there is the reason I did not film the first side. So now I know what we're up against. This driver's side should be a breeze. Let's get up and I'll show you guys step by step what you need to do to install your rock sliders. First thing we've got to do is take these little Torx bolts out, and they're also the same T40 we used on the skid plate.
Are we gonna go on a ride in the passenger?
Maybe once we get our rock sliders on.
What are rock
That's
sliders?
what we're putting on. So next step, you're going to take one of your 3 bushings here, and you're going to put it in the hole and seat it up against that frame so it stays straight. And then you're going to use that as a guide to drill a hole, because that bolt hole does not go all the way through, and we need our bolt to go all the way through to put our nut on. So we're going to seat that up against there tight, get you a 3/8 inch drill bit, and watch your fingers, it's a little bit dangerous. And that's going to line you up so you get a perfect straight across hole, as long as that's seated up against the frame. So keep pressure on that. that should have us started where our hole's in the right spot. Now you're going to repeat that step on all 3 holes. Alright, on this back hole, rather than seating that thing all the way up against like that, because that's when I ran into that cross member, I cheated this thing just a little bit that way. This is exaggerated, but I got it sitting in there like that to point that bolt hole away from that cross member a little bit, and then I went ahead and slotted it back to the cross member, and I think that will help us get that nut started. That way maybe I don't have to grind on it as much. You can see I've got a slotted hole in there now. This side actually lined up a little better than the other side. I don't know if maybe my cross member is a little bit off on the other side. There, you can barely see that hole. We lined up a little bit better on this side. On the other side, we were all the way up against the cross member. We're just up against the weld on this side, and that's with cheating it over a little bit. But I think that's going to give us just enough room to get that bolt started. The next thing we're going to do is we need to install our bushings in every hole, and do not forget to do that before you put your rock slider on, or you will be taking it back off. Ask me how I know. Something else I forgot to mention too, the instructions said that we needed to pull this front fender flare off. I did not pull it off. I don't think that is required for the 4-seater XP model. I don't know about the 2-seater, but I did the entire install on the other side with the flare on, and I'm doing this side too. So we're going to take our little Torx bolt that we took out at the beginning, and we're going to use that to hold the rock slider up until we get the 3/8 bolts in it. I'm just going to start all these. You want to leave them loose so that you have some adjustment to get all the bolts in. I'm going to start with this back bolt, this back 3/8 bolt, because I know that's the hole that gave me the most trouble on the other side. It's feeling a lot better than the other side. I'm going to grab the, well, I've got it right here. I'm going to see if I can fish the nut in there. Like I said, this nut's got the holder on it, so you don't have to use a wrench. I still think I'm gonna have to take a little bit of this off. I could probably get it on there, but we are, even with that slotted hole, as you can see, we are right up against that weld. And I think we can just take a little bit of that wrench and the flange off that nut and get it seated right up against the frame. So I'm gonna get the grinder, take a little bit of that off, and I think we'll be all set. Here's a better look at what I'm doing. I'm just taking a little piece of that flange off that nut, and we're on a flat on that nut right there. So we'll take it just down to that flat, and that takes all the strength away of this little makeshift wrench they've got on there. But if you're using an impact, that just needs to hold it till that impact gets a hold of it, and then we'll tighten up. So let's get that ground down. Just like that. And I did put a little bit of a bevel on it right there, because that's where that weld sits, and then that gives us plenty of metal left up on the top where the threads are. So bevel the bottom of it where your weld sits, and it should fit just right. Let's see if we can get it started now. Oh yeah, I think that was the ticket. Just move on down and get them all in there started, and then go back and tighten them. And you can get a wrench on the front one and the middle one, but you cannot get a wrench on that back one. We're going to come back and tighten these little torque bolts in. And that should have them installed. Now we're going to go back and put the skid plate back under it. We're going to do the back section first. And I'm not going to film that part because it's pretty tough to film underneath of it, but I'll get that on and then get back with you guys. We got the skid plate on and we are finished up, and I am really pleased with these rock sliders. They are extremely stout. They hang just below that rocker panel, so all this plastic should be protected for the most part, and I think they look great. They're not too flashy. You don't even really notice they're on there, which is kind of what I was going for. You can barely see them down there. I mainly just wanted them for protection. I didn't want them for looks, and I think they'll work great for that. So that's going to do it for today's video. The installation did take a little bit longer than I expected, but that's just kind of how things go when you're filming. And plus we had the little issue, but at the end of the day we're done and we are trail ready. So please consider hitting that subscribe button and come along with us on all of our Polaris General adventures. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to put it on the dunes, we're going to take it to the mountain trails, and we plan on bringing you guys along every step of the way. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.
There you go.